right, good evening. As you can see, our chairman is absent along with Supervisor Trent Olson, so they are excused from our meeting tonight. So I will call the meeting to order this Monday evening, March 17th, 2025 at 7 p.m. And if all would rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, if the clerk would please do a roll call to establish a quorum.
Supervisor Jeannie Vogel.
Here.
Supervisor Mark Hain.
Here.
Vice Chair Linda Waite.
Here.
And Supervisor Olson and Chairman Dan Wolfel are excused.
All right, thank you. Our meet and greet, we can go around the table and introduce each other's here. So Pam, if you want to start.
Sure, I'm Pam Bush from the County of Door.
All right, Gwen.
Gwen Graves, 5343 Southwood Road, Sturgeon Lake.
Gwen.
Nellis, 4216 Highway 57.
Carrie Nellis, same address.
Jeff with Reseda Farms.
Hugh Zettel, District 14, County Board Supervisor, 3986 Glen Drive.
All right, thank you. And then on our agenda, public participation. Does anyone have any item that is not on the agenda that they wish to discuss at this time? Okay, Gwen, please.
Oh, Gwen, can you use the mic in your hand? Sorry, Linda.
I just wanted to address two issues related to wake boating. I did attend a Land Conservation Committee meeting where there was a discussion at the committee level about wake boating. And next week, I will be going to the Wisconsin Lakes and Rivers Annual Conference, and I've signed up for workshops on aquatic invasive species, climate change, and lake adaptation strategies, and wake boating. So I'm hoping through some additional education for myself, I can get answers to what appeared to be some stumbling blocks on the ordinance for wake boating at our committee levels at both townships.
All right, thank you. And you can bring that back to us then, whatever you learn at the conference, you can bring back to us. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Very good. Carrie, did you have anything? Jeff, anything? Okay, all right. So the approval of the minutes from our previous meeting on January 20th, 2025, you've all had a chance to look at those. So I'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the January 20th, 2025 meeting.
And a second?
I guess I'll second that.
Thank you.
Would you
All
like the agenda? Oh, sorry.
Oh, yes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, minutes will be approved and placed on file. And our agenda, if the clerk would confirm that it was properly noticed,
The agenda was properly noticed.
and then I would look for a motion to adopt that, please.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll
Second. Oh,
oh,
go ahead, sorry.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. All right, we have with us this evening Pam Bush from the Door County Transportation Services and a PowerPoint. So Pam, please take it away.
Good evening. Thank you for taking time during your meeting to hear about what the county has to offer as far as transportation services. So I don't know if the PowerPoint was in your packets, if you've got, okay,
Yes.
otherwise I have hard copies. So the County of Door has a public transit system that consists of two pieces. One is door-to-door rides, which is a rather large system that operates up to 7 days per week, days and evenings. Therefore, the county contracts that service out to a company by the name of Abbey Vans, which that has been the provider since it started in 2010. The other part of our public transit system operates out of the ADRC, which is where my office is. And in that system, it operates Monday through Friday, and we have a bus and a van. So If there's busy times during the week, typically about 10 until 4 are the busiest times. We could have up to 9 vehicles on the road at one time, and many times we do based on ridership needs. So on the first slide, there's a little bit of an overview of what type of vehicles we have, and then also the number of trips. Prior to COVID, our trips were higher. Last year, we finally got over the 46,000 mark with the two systems combined, but prior to COVID, our ridership was even higher than that. The next slide talks about our Door County Connect service. Again, that's the one that the county operates internally out of the ADRC. So just a little information about the fares, how to schedule a ride, and then our availability, Monday through Thursday, 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And then Fridays, we have shorter days with the county, so it's 7:30 to 1:30. And one thing to note about the fares for this system, it's $2 per trip within the city of Sturgeon Bay, but because the county wants to promote the ADRC meal program, we cut that cost in half.
Hold one
Oh,
second.
excuse me, Pam. Are we having a problem, Derek?
Yeah, one, I want to check that mic, and two, I accidentally hit the wrong button and shut down all the audios.
So we apologize. We have fairly new mic systems as over the last couple months, so we're still working out the bugs.
All right, sorry about that.
All right, thanks, Derek.
Yeah.
Would you like me to proceed?
Are we good to go? Yes? Was that a yes?
I think so. Tap the
Okay.
mic, would you, Pam? Yeah,
Okay.
it's on. All right.
I'm a quiet talker, so I'll try a little closer. The door-to-door ride system, it has a different fare structure because it's a county-wide system. It basically provides service within all of Door County except actually having a van on the island. They do meet people at the ferry dock and things like that. We just don't send a van onto the island. Fare structures can be a little bit confusing because they're broken down by zones. So part of what my job is also at the county is to help people navigate through our services and get them connected to whichever service is going to serve them better and verify fares and things like that. So I'm always a resource for people if they've got questions. Just some information about what our ridership demographics were last year. Primarily elderly and individuals with disabilities are who our riders are. That then is followed up by adults who are under the age of 55 without a disability. And then after that category, the next most popular rider is a youth. We do a lot of school trips and things like that. And then as far as why people ride with our two services, the primary reason for riding with us is for employment. We do quite a few work trips. So early morning hours, later afternoon, those are definitely prime time for a lot of riders. The second reason is shopping and personal, that's lumped all together as far as personal appointments, shopping, social, things like that. And then the next one is education, followed by medical. So to give you an idea of why people are riding with us. And then where our ridership is, in looking at beginning and ending trips, the core zone, which is the city of Sturgeon Bay, that orange circle, is about 85% of our ridership, which makes sense. It's the most populated area. And then after that, so Sturgeon Bay is not included in the pie chart. After that, then is the green zone, which surrounds the orange core. So you're looking at a little bit of Southern Door, you're looking at the Sevastopol area and things like that, is the next highest usage based on, again, where trips begin and or end. So the green zone is just over 9%, it's about 9.17 as far as last year's ridership. And then the pink zone, which is the more north area, is at about 4.35%. And the blue zone, which is the farther end of Southern Door area, is just under 1% as far as ridership by area within our county. The yellow, most northern door area had about 0.5% of the trips, so not a whole lot going too far north. Just to give an idea of a budget overview, obviously the administrative committee that I report to gets a little more detail, but I didn't want to go into all of that. So just overall, our 2025 budget, just over 1.3 million. Grant and fare box revenue is just over $1 million. And important to point out that rider fares actually contribute about 170,000 towards the system. It's pretty significant. Most public transit systems don't have that high of a percentage of fares covering the cost. So it's really good that we've figured out a way that the riders can also contribute to the overall system. And then the county match is just under 340,000. And it includes a monetary donation that the city of Sturgeon Bay provides towards the county's local match. That just started about 2 years ago. And then how you can help. First of all, thank you again for having me here. I really appreciate it. You know, we don't spend a lot on marketing. We spend more towards service. So whenever I can get out and speak, it's very helpful. And then if you get calls from constituents saying, how do I get somewhere, I'm in crisis or something, now you know me and you can refer them my way so that I can make sure that everybody's taken care of in our community. Another thought would be on your town website, if you wanted to add a link for transportation information and then link it to the county's transportation page. Just, you know, I'm thinking of different ways that won't take too much time to put together, but still a way to spread the word. Starting with this past January, I'll be sending out quarterly newsletters, so Amy will get that, and she did a great job sharing it. Thank you. So the next one will be out in mid-April. It'll do the first quarter information on what we've done in our system. And then Door County Connect has a Facebook page and things like that. If you're into Facebook and you want to follow what we're doing, feel free to follow there as well. And then supporting services, obviously, financial assistance, donation towards the county's match is always welcome. I know that's not always easy to do, so just think of that in the future. And then advocating for federal and state transportation funding. Our state allocation continues to get cut each year, which is our primary elderly and disabled funds. So advocating for us would be great. And I hope if you've got questions or comments, or if you want to contact me after, I included my contact information. The other thing that I kind of breeze through, because I write down notes and then I follow the PowerPoint and I don't go back to my notes. One thing that I thought you may be interested in is that the Door County Connect bus partners with Sevastopol schools. So Monday through Thursday, our bus actually meets a Sevastopol school bus at the YMCA. We get a group of kids that are going to the Boys and Girls Club, so their parents can stay at work or do what they need to do, and we provide a safe connection for them to the club. We've done that for, I want to say, 3 years now, since the club is primarily in Sturgeon Bay. Last school year, we had almost 800 rides through that partnership with the club and Sevastopol School. Another partnership that the county does is it's a partnership between the county's transportation department and then a nonprofit by the name of DoorTran, and then the county's Veteran Service Office. So since 2011, we've been sharing our wheelchair accessible van that is at the ADRC with the nonprofit DoorTran, and they provide no-cost rides to veterans traveling for medical appointments outside of the county. So we're real proud to be able to continue that partnership as well. And now open it up to questions if anybody has any.
Yeah, I do.
I do too.
Okay. You want,
Okay, so partners with, whoops. partners with Sevastopol School. Great, that sounds like a great program, getting them to the Y and to the Boys and Girls Club. Now, do the parents pay for that? And is that your regular, because that would be outside of the city, so $5 per trip? Do the parents pay for that, or?
We only charge the Boys and Girls Club a $2 per child who rides that day. If somebody's absent, we do not charge for that child not riding. And since we started, the Boys and Girls Club obtained a donation that covers those costs.
Okay, great. And maybe Mr. Zettel can weigh in on this as well, since he's on the county board. Transportation for summer help. So if I had a summer job, it'd probably be more economical for me to find a place to rent or live in Sturgeon Bay, but my job is up north at Al Johnson's. Do you give a break for our working people or summer people, or are they charged, I mean, that would be like $25 a day to go up north, right? And to get back home.
Yep, so depending where they're at, when you say up north, say if they're going as far as Fish Creek from Sturgeon Bay, they're only crossing one zone, the green zone to the pink zone, so it's a flat $10 rate, and then to come back, it would be 10. Still not very affordable. However, with public transit, we have to align our fares for everybody, so we would not be able to give a break to somebody who's employed, or even if they were a J1 employee or something like that, unfortunately. Where it gets a little bit tricky too is the door-to-door in the northern door area. In the green area, it's still a Monday through Sunday service. When you get into the pink area, it's more Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. So as you go further, there's a little bit less service on nights or weekends, but certainly if it's a Monday through Friday, we can certainly help.
Which would be a problem, because obviously they need their help on the weekends, probably more
As
so
well,
than during the
correct.
week. So maybe that's something, some kind of ride share program or a regular service, but, okay, did you want to go ahead? Jean?
Yeah, I just had a question in regard to grant. Says you get a grant. So is that a grant that comes from the state, or is that a federal grant that comes through the state?
We
And-
actually receive both. We
Okay.
receive a state allocation for elderly and disabled transportation. And then those state dollars can be used as a cash match for federal grants. So we also receive public transit federal grants. And then the county contributes additional match in order to cover the full cost of our full system.
Have you been alerted in the current situation as to a challenge with federal grant? Have you received any information in that regard?
We have not.
Okay. That's all I,
Mr. Hain, did you have anything? I've seen Abbey vans head into Green Bay or whatever. So what is the fee for that? Is that based on mileage, or, like if it's someone who had a doctor's appointment in Green Bay?
Yep, so Abbey Vans is a statewide provider. So if you see an Abbey Vans van that says Abbey Vans on it outside of Door County, they're doing business that's outside of the door-to-door ride system, because door-to-door doesn't leave the county. So Abbey Vans also does a lot of medical transportation statewide. So if you see an Abbey Vans, past Dykesville, chances are they're doing it on the other side of their business privately, and they charge, I don't even know, because it's not part of our contract.
Okay, so
I'm
they
assuming
stand
per mile
alone.
or something.
They stand alone, separate
If
from
you've got some folks who have medical appointments and they're a Door County resident, I would encourage them to contact the nonprofit DoorTran. They have a volunteer driver program, which can be much more affordable than a private taxi company, especially for that long-distance trip going to or from Green Bay.
Okay. All right, did anyone else have any questions? Yes, go ahead.
So the way to donate to this, if you wanted to donate to it as, like for, say, a charitable deduction, you donate to Door Tran, because you can't donate to the Door County Transportation Services, right? Or can you?
Well, you can make a donation to the county. Some folks choose to do a nonprofit donation rather than the county. If you make a donation to Door Tran, you're supporting their programs. It wouldn't come back to the county to support these. Correct.
And donation to Door County Transportation Services, the county is tax deductible as well, or no?
I believe so, Hugh. You still get credits for the donation, as far as I know. Yeah.
And if you donate $5,000, we'll get to approve it at the county board, because it's at 5,000 or more, we have to approve it, so.
You have to prove that someone can donate 5,000?
Of certain amounts, yes. So donate a nice big amount, that way we can give you some good press at the county board meeting.
Well, I think it's important to know how people can donate. The
Yes.
system's a little complex.
It is, and it's a little bit confusing because we work so well and partner so closely with Door Tran that we get confused as one sometimes. So that's always the big thing too. But if you call either of us, we'll get you where you need to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pam.
You can stay for the rest of our meeting if you like, or you're free to leave.
I'll head out.
Thank you
so much.
All right, thanks again for coming. All right, pending business. So, item A there is the Miller-Hancock settlement of claim. This goes back to the summer of 2023. Dawn Miller and Lynn Hancock, who live on Apple Road, were misinformed as to setbacks on their installation of an above-ground pool. Unfortunately, they were not granted a variance by the Board of Adjustment. So they were ordered to move their pool to within the required setback. They filed a claim against the town, and we went into closed session, I believe, last winter, December or so, December or January, to talk about a settlement of their claim against the town. And when we came out of that closed session, we neglected to put on the record what was the result or what would be our course of action. And the course of action was that we authorized our respective attorneys, so our attorney, along with the attorney for our insurance company, and the Hancock Miller's attorney, to negotiate a settlement. So we left it up to the legal counsel. They did negotiate a settlement, and we did issue a check in that settlement, and the matter is done and over. They have moved their pool to a proper position and got to enjoy it last summer. So I don't know if there were any further questions on that, but the matter is done and settled. So, off the table. Again, we neglected to put something on the record, so now it's on the record. Item B, under pending business. Our emergency responders are in the process of updating their bylaws. Supervisor Olson is a member, is our appointed member to that agency, and I do have a note from Trent, and he just asked me to relay that they met in February. I also attended one of their meetings. And the meeting was led by our parliamentarian, Tim Flieger, and a new crew chief, Ashley Stotts, was elected at that time. And they continue to meet to discuss an updated version of their bylaws. So currently, the new version of the bylaws is being reviewed by Mr. Flieger as parliamentarian, and the EMR committee will be meeting to review and discuss and give input and approve as a group. So he also asked me to relay that the EMR committee is working to ensure the Sevastopol's EMRs have the equipment and the support they need to provide this valuable service to our community. So the committee will ensure the bylaws will provide the town with the necessary information and structure to enable us to support our EMRs. So, thank you Supervisor Olson. And any questions on that? So it'll be coming back, a draft will be coming back. And under new business, increase in publication fees for alcohol beverage license. As you know, or maybe you don't know, when someone applies for a license, be it a new license or renewal, that needs to be published in the paper, and the agent needs to be named, and I'll let our clerk explain why she needs, or we need to increase those fees.
So as with anything, prices have been increasing, and the publication fees have also been increasing. Last year, they were between $22 and $24, and we were charging only $20. So I'm asking the board to consider raising the publication fee, to a nominal, maybe 25 or whatever it is to cover those fees.
I think 25 would be fair if the actual cost is between 22 and 24, and takes some administrative time to process that and send it off. Thoughts?
Sounds reasonable?
I'd turn my mic on. Sounds fair.
Sounds fair to me. Okay, so, Madam Clerk, if you're okay with 25, and then we can bring, if costs go up even higher, we just bring it back every year. Our fees are in a separate resolution from our alcohol beverage ordinance, so we can adjust that resolution as we go along.
We
Did
need
you
a
want
motion.
Right, sure. It's not going to be a resolution, it'll just be on the record.
As a motion.
Sure. Did you want to make that motion?
Sure, I will make that motion to raise the fee from, was it 20 before?
It's 20.
From $20 to $25 going forward.
Okay, second?
I'll second that.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Okay, motion carried, and then that will be on our renewals and our new applications for this
Yes.
season. Okay, thank you. Alcohol license run from July 1st to June 30th, by the way. So, ordinance and resolution, and again, Supervisor Olson is not here. He is the chairman of our ordinance committee, which consists of Mr. Olson, myself, our clerk Amy, and Jeff Schmeckpepper, and Laddie Chapman. And we have been meeting on a regular basis. We were asked to go through the ordinance. There are many that have since been repealed or are totally out of date, so we are going through those. We've had several meetings. We have put all of the ordinances in electronic format. Thank you to Laddie for doing that. And we're trying to get them in a searchable text format so that if somebody had a question on our ordinance on burning, we could find it easy enough. And we're identifying those that are repealed or need to be replaced. Some are active, some are inactive. So within the next couple months, we can expect to bring a list of the ordinances to the board for review. And Laddie, again, is working on setting that up for us. Also, maybe a web page, a separate web link on our town website to take anybody right to our ordinances. So the goal is to make it have our ordinances identifiable, searchable, and easy for people to find the information that they need. So any questions on that? All right, thank
Sounds
you.
good.
Okay, and we did not have any other ordinances or resolutions at this time. And financial reports for January of 2025. Amy, did you want to comment on that?
Sure, the town is paying for our second quarter fire dues to the city of Sturgeon Bay this month. And currently, through the month of February, the town's interest earned category is at 61%, or roughly $15,500.
Great. All right, then I would look for a motion to accept the financial report for January 2025.
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report. Is that what I'm doing?
Yes?
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. All right, and then the approval of the voucher bills and claims. We actually have 2 months' worth, so since we did not have a meeting in February, from January 21st, 2025 through through tonight, March 17th. I think you've all had a chance to look at the list.
I'll make a motion to approve the vouchers, bills, and claims from January 21st, 2025 through March 17th, 2025.
Second.
Questions, comments? Amy, anything you want to add?
No?
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Oral commission reports and/or minutes. The Door County Tourism Zone Executive Committee will be meeting this Thursday. I was not present at last month's Tourism Zone Commission. Did you have anything to comment on, Supervisor Vogel?
No, I actually thought just the opposite. February was the executive, and Thursday is the full commission.
Okay.
So I have a packet on that.
All right. I see that Jacksonport has now reached 300,000. So whenever you reach 300,000 in room earnings, you get one representative on the Tourism Zone Commission. So now they will have 2 on the commission. We have 2. I believe the city, some of the Liberty Grove might have 3. Anybody else? Mark, anything from the Park Committee?
Not at the moment.
Door County Coastal Byway, we were not successful in getting our grant funds to do 20,000 more coloring books. We're going to try to do 10,000 with our own funds.
It's an
So
ongoing
we'll
problem.
see. But they're very popular. I should have brought one along. The coloring books that the Coastal Byway puts out. So we're going to try to do another 10,000. Maybe we'll only do 5. Other than that, I don't have anything. All right, County Board Report. Mr. Zettel.
Thank you, Supervisor Wade, and good evening, everyone. I'm just going to highlight a few things. It was a fairly light county board meeting for February.
Hugh, I don't think your mic is on.
Make sure it's on, would you?
Give it a tap.
It's supposed to be red. Yeah, it's on.
Oh, okay.
Okay. A couple of things just worth noting. One is that actually there was an approval of the donation to the Door County Transportation Department this past month. So there are a lot of folks that recognize the value of the services that Pam talked about. And I just, want to just highlight, the great, county staff that we have with folks like Pam that execute awesome services. There was another report that she didn't highlight, but it's amazing. And I think the number is in the 20-some% of ridership for those services are for people that work. So it's not just, you think of the services and you think it's for folks that are retired, need to go to the doctor's appointment, et cetera. But there's a large number and it's growing relative to using these transportation services for the working staffs. So I think that's going to be something that's going to grow. And Linda, relative to not only just part-time, summer help, but year-round, making sure that we can have those sorts of services available. So I'll follow up on that request that you had. That was excellent. The other, main item I just want to talk about relative to that had most of the debate was regard to a resolution in support of an assembly bill for Northern Sky Theater for a property tax exemption, and this is for their property at F and A, if you will, as opposed to the space that they lease from the state park at Peninsula State Park. Basically, what would happen is they would amend the law that currently has on the books kind of a stipulation that supports Peninsula players, and Northern Sky has a smaller seating capacity, so they would make a narrow exemption to try to do that. I think some of the concerns raised by some of the members is, since this is a state law, how many other venues would there be similar to Northern Skies that would go after that sort of tax exemption. And also some concern raised by, some of the leadership from the town of Gibraltar, because really it takes it off their tax rolls too, and they also have Peninsula players. So that was, it was voted, 12 yes, 5 no, and 4 absent, so it passed. So basically what Representative Kitchens wanted was support from stakeholders of the town. The town of Gibraltar did approve it, and also now support from the county level, so that will help Joel in crafting the legislation to then go through the sausage making, if you will, down in Madison. So that's where its next step is. Relative to other meetings of interest, I received via the town of Sevastopol clerk a letter from a constituent raising concerns about office hours at the county in order to pay your tax bills. And it turns out that the filing day for January also coincided with a Friday, which they have hours where they close up shop at 11. They still work a 40-hour week, but they work longer hours Monday through Thursday and shorter hours on Friday. So at the February finance meeting, I raised that issue so that we could put it on the next meeting's agenda. The March meeting was canceled, so we'll take that up in the April meeting. So, so more to come on that one. Then lastly, at last week's Highway and Facilities meeting, there was a robust discussion about safe harbor docks on the lakeside. And as the town knows, that previously was focused on the area around Cave Point, Whitefish Dune State Park. What was interesting about this discussion is the fact that with the ongoing issues that they're having at Bailey's Harbor, with sand continuing to fill that harbor, that that town can, in the future, maybe no longer support spending $300,000 a year to dredge to keep that harbor open, and they'll need other locations. In addition, there is also concern raised that there really isn't a good safe harbor between Bailey's Harbor and Gills Rock. And so what was being asked was support from the county to basically engage the DNR, for the DNR to lead a study to look at safe harbor access along the lakeshore, basically from Cave Point down to, from Cave Point up to, if you will, Gills Rock. So it would be a more comprehensive study, probably use some of the existing work that was done, by the Shower Road or Shower Park dock proposal, that analysis of them that the town helped fund. And it would obviously be a very large expenditure when you think of it. But the thought is to look at this not as just a, it's not just a Whitefish Dunes, Cave Point, Safe Harbor. It's the fact that if you lose Bailey's Harbor, you really don't have anything on the lakeside at all for Safe Harbor. And there's support from parts of the DNR when you think of the fisheries management and the sports fishing access is a big deal economically for the county. At lake access, whether you're talking the upcoming brown trout tourney, right, or you have the salmon tournaments, which are also have a huge economic impact. So they want to look at that all along, basically from Gills Rock all the way down to Cave Point, maybe down to the canal area, which is really the other closest safe harbor. So that's draft resolution will probably come back to that committee in April. So there'll be more discussion in the April timeframe, or at that April meeting for highways and facilities. And then if it passes there, then it will probably go to the county board for its consideration. But I just wanted to highlight that, since I know that's a matter that has been before this town board previously. So with that, I'd be happy to hopefully answer any questions that you might have.
I see there's going to be a new exhibit at the Door County Museum Can you tell us what it is, or is it going to be a surprise?
I don't know, I don't have the details on that.
Okay. And then as far as the support for the Northern Sky Theater, what was the argument against it? Was it losing the tax revenue? Was that the main thing?
Yes, I think it's primarily losing the tax revenue, both at the county and, just as importantly, the town levels. When you talk about, a $30,000 impact, you're right, that can get a little bit of road work done when you think of, those maintenance costs. And those theaters, drive a lot of traffic.
Okay.
I know that, Peninsula Players is on a private road in the town, so that, any kind of road upkeep, that hits the town directly to try to, maintain it for the patrons to use. So that's, I think, the primary cause. Of course, other aspects of loss of tax revenue also came up, with also the continued growth of, land conservancy and those sorts of other initiatives. Those are also, taking property off the tax roll. So that kind of got, shoved into the discussion as well relative to the impacts that have on both the towns and the county.
All right, thank you. Does anyone else have any questions? No?
No.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Thank you. All right, license and permits, you have them in the packet there. We have our monthly permit report from our inspector, Inspection Specialist, LLC, for January. And the Door County Planning and Zoning permits for January. Our inspection reports for February. And again, our zoning permits for February. Any questions on those at all? A little bit of building picking up, that's great.
Yeah.
Let's see, Waseda Farm Market, Class A intoxicating liquor license. So they have applied for a Class A beer and liquor. So Class A equals away. So A, away from the premises, B, bar on the premises. So Jeff, if you want to give us a little overview of what your intent is, and we do have the application in front of us, so.
You need a mic, yeah.
Oh, that's, yes, thank you.
So what we're doing is, we have a store currently in Bailey's Harbor on our farm up there. We're opening a second store, which is going to be located in the southern part of the Grandma Tommy's store. And, with our farm products that we sell there, we sell a small amount of beer and wine, so that's what we do.
What else do you plan to have in the retail store?
We have all our
Meat
meats that
product,
we have all our meats that we raise. We've got our eggs, and then we sell some grocery items and produce along with that.
Are all the items from your farm produced locally, or?
Most of the meat is.
Okay.
The produce and the grocery items, that we don't produce, that we buy,
Could come from?
but the meat is, yes.
All right. Any discussion on this?
I mean, you have some people sitting in the back row that might be interested. Do you buy from local farmers?
Actually,
for
we
the
do buy
produce?
produce from the people in the back row, so.
Okay, great.
That's awesome.
Thanks for pointing
Good.
that out,
Yeah.
Mark. That's great. So, did you have any comments, Carrie or Craig, on that? No?
No, we support Waseda.
Okay,
They do us, so.
yeah. They
It's
do
nice
do
to
a
see
good-
not an empty store there.
Right.
It'll be
Yeah.
nice to see.
Yeah,
And
and I
there
won't
is-
have to drive so far. Thank you.
And the price of eggs will be what?
Those golden nuggets.
Actually, ours are lower than they are at normal grocery stores, so.
All right.
Yeah.
No
And
minimum.
you've already published the notice, Amy?
Yes, the notice was published
Okay.
and everything is paid, so all I need is a motion.
Okay. Oh, and this would be for the period to June 30th?
Correct.
2025, and then you understand that it would be a renewal?
Yep.
Afterwards, okay. So I would look for a motion to approve this application for Class A combination Class A.
Go ahead, Jeannie.
I'll make a motion that we grant Wasita Farm Market a Class A intoxicating liquor license that will be in effect through June 30th of 2025.
Second.
Okay. Is there anything else we need to address, Amy?
Nothing else.
Nothing?
Everything is up to date, and like I said, he paid the fees for it, so they should be set.
Okay. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Carried. Good luck.
Thank you.
When do you plan to start?
Sometime in late April, we'll
Okay,
open the store.
Great.
All right.
Look forward to it.
I wish you great success. And correspondence. All right, you have the correspondence packet there. We have the City of Sturgeon Bay Fire Department report for January, indicating our calls and incidents and response time and all of that. Same likewise for February 2025. And there's a correspondence and also, I think I heard this on the news, but maybe I'm thinking of something else. Anyway, there's a movement to construct a roundabout at the intersection of 4257 and Gordon Road, so the Culvers intersection. There's a letter here from our chairman indicating that the town of Sevastopol strongly supports the installation of a roundabout. And he did outline that the scene has been, or this has been the scene of a fatality of two of, last one in 2015, plus all kinds of accidents over the years. So we supported the county of Door when they changed it to no northbound
No left
turn. Yeah, no left turn, northbound turn from Gordon onto the highway. That seems to be working fine. They're directed to go to the roundabout. So if this proceeds, we'll have our own roundabout at that intersection. Hopefully that will work. I haven't seen any problems or heard of any accidents since, or have there been?
No, there really hasn't been
Since
any.
no left turn, I have not heard any accidents.
Good.
So our chairman asked that it be fast-tracked, so we will see. And then we have our payment advice on our municipal services program. That is where they reimburse the town for services provided to probably the park, I'm guessing, Amy?
Municipal services?
Yeah. I'm not sure. I believe it's the park.
It was the $927.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not our park, Whitefish Dunes
Right,
State Park.
right.
Yeah, not our park. All right, and then we have a notice of some blasting. Again, this is just for our information. So I guess somebody's putting in a foundation out in Holiday Acres, Carla Court. It indicates town of Egg Harbor, but I believe it's in the town of Sevastopol, if it's on Carla Court. So again, just for our information. Also for your information, Door County Trails, this is a new movement in Door County. I attended this meeting on, I don't remember when, but our next, it was January 23rd, up at the Town of Gibraltar offices. Our next meeting is Thursday, April 24th at 1 PM, again at Gibraltar. So it's a movement to connect Door County trails. I don't know if this has been brought to the county board or not, so you've probably seen this. So we'll just keep you posted on that. Again, they're hoping for government partners, other community partners to support a trail system throughout all of Door County. So we'll see where that goes. Just a couple other things that I've found, not necessarily under correspondence. The Sturgeon Bay Visitor Guide is out. I saw it in the racks. We have 2 pages for the town of Sevastopol. I think it's a really nice layout. So thank you, Sturgeon Bay, Destination Sturgeon Bay, for including us. We partner with them on our marketing funds. Also, Sturgeon Bay Utilities, we received an email and we have a letter here. There's going to be some underground utility construction going on, and this is going to happen from Bluebird Lane, which is the southernmost boundary with the city of Sturgeon Bay, going north on Bay Shore Drive to Dunn Road or thereabouts. They're going to try to put all of the utility lines underground. So there'll be some detours and construction probably starting in April. So just a heads up at that. And I believe that was also publicized. Oh, and then, not necessarily correspondence, but we did not have a rummage sale last year over at the town park, so I think we might have one this year.
Yes, it absolutely sounds like a great idea. A lot of people had asked about it last year after we didn't have a lot of people inquiring about it, but yes, we should have that.
Well, okay, I didn't have anything else.
I have one comment about that. I had a constituent ask if we were gonna have it and throw an idea of maybe having food trucks there.
Ooh,
I know we have the MAT or some of the Sevastopol groups
okay.
do the food and such, but they thought maybe it'd be a cool time for a food truck rally over there, bring a little business, and it would bring more foot traffic in for sure.
Would we be better off to have that on a day where there's a game or not? Like if there was a game going on? So say we do this
I would
mid-June,
say
would there be
no.
like a little
I would
league
say
or
no,
something
because
like
it's gonna
that?
take away
Too
from
much.
the
Okay.
concessions if they have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll
Just a
keep you
thought.
posted on that. Thanks, Mark. Announcement. So on Tuesday, April 1st is the spring election. Polls are open from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m., voting right here at the town hall. On Tuesday, April 15th at 6 p.m. is our annual meeting where we will be looking at our financial statements, a report from the Sturgeon Bay Fire Department on our fire protection, and whatever else comes forth at the annual meeting.
Hopefully AT&T will have a presence at the
Okay.
meeting.
All right, great. And our next Board of Supervisors meeting will be Monday, April 21st at 7 p.m. Agenda items for next month to be determined. I can think of a couple items that are going to pop up. Anything else? No. Okay. Motion to adjourn would be in order.
Where's Trent? I will make a motion to adjourn a la Trent.
Second?
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Carried, and we are adjourned. Thank you for coming this evening.